Hello, I'm Philip Brunelle, Artistic Director and founder of Vocal Essence and organist choirmaster at Plymouth Congregational Church in Minneapolis. So each day I have selected a composer who has had a role to play with both organizations, and today, finishing the month of July, it is the African-American composer Ysaÿe Barnwell. That first name, Y-S-A-Y with 2 dots, E. The first time I met her many years ago, I said to her, that name, it's the same as the famous Belgian violinist from 100 years ago. And she said, my father knew of him and decided that I should be named for him. And then she looked at me and she said, we're going to get along just fine. And we have. Ysaÿe is a wonderful person. She's amazing because not only is she a composer and a great singer, she's a real bass. But she has degrees in speech pathology. She has a Master of Science in Public Health. She was a professor at Howard University in the College of Dentistry. In the community, she's done computer technology. She's an actress, a producer. She's written several children's books. You should look them up. One called No Mirror in My Nana's House, and another one called We Are One. They're terrific. So in 1979, she joined this group called Sweet Honey in the Rock. And one of the things she brought to the group, besides her voice, was sign language. And so one of the things that they're known for is that every song they sing, there is someone in the group signing that song. So for 34 years, she was in Sweet Honey. One of the songs that she wrote, a piece that she wrote for Washington, D.C., the Choral Art Society, was a larger piece called Truth Pressed to Earth, texts that were adapted from Martin Luther King Jr. I'm going to play just the beginning. They're very strong texts, they're very strong music. When she says, who is this man, this Martin Luther King Jr.? Some say he was a dreamer. This man of God, though he did have a dream, was a wise and courageous leader. No watery eyes and no languid sighs. His dream was a call to action. Stepped out of faith with a nonviolent grace, walking that long road to freedom. And keep the faith and don't you never fail. Which then leads into a second part, very contrasting. At the center of nonviolence is the power of love. I'm going to play you the beginning part of Ysaÿe Barnwell's Truth Pressed to Earth. It's an a cappella piece. To see Ysaÿe Barnwell in action, leading a group sing, leading a group is a marvelous experience. I hope sometime you'll have a chance because it's exciting, it's rejoicing, it's also very, very powerful. Ysaÿe has 4 axioms, and I think they're wonderful, and I want to tell them to you. The first is, to whom much is given, much is required. The second one, as one door closes, another door opens. The third, everything matters. And the fourth, say yes with an exclamation point. So several years ago, I commissioned a group of composers, all women, to each write something for we called it the Quilt Project. It was for Kay McCarthy, who is a master quilter here in town. And commissioned by her husband, Mike, we had these pieces, each of them a different, obviously, poem. And this particular one was by Ysaÿe. And she took words of Mary Moore Easter. Back in the early part of musical moments, I did music of Mary's mother, Undine Smith Moore. But this is a poem, a wonderful little poem. Jumbled diamonds, halved and quartered, turned and sorted, smallest angles all the same. And of course, those are all terms involving quilting. And when I asked Ysaÿe if she would be interested in being in this project, she said, my mother was a quilter. And she said, I would love to. So here's this little piece. We start with the basses, and the tempo is a tango. You start with the basses, then you add the soprano. Again, they sing, does this cutting, folding, stitching, piercing, pairing, splice of planes drive me crazy or keep me sane. So each of them adds another layer. I'm not going to play all of it, but you can just imagine that you have these different parts coming in, one after the other, until finally at the end, you have 6 parts, soprano 1, soprano 2, alto 1, alto 2, tenor, bass, and they all come in to make a grand ending, each of them with their own stitching thoughts. And then it continues right on until the end, and everybody's in, and they go. Have a wonderful day.